The gorgeous Mexican Caribbean coast of Playa del Carmen welcomes upwards of 1 million tourists every year. The weather, the water, the free-flowing tequila, and the Fifth Avenue are just some of the city's major attractions.
Today we are in the Fifth Avenue here in Playa del Carmen, and we're going to take you on a walk through the area.
Also, we're going to expose you the most common scams you can find in this area, and we're going to show you how to avoid them.
When it comes to shopping here in the Fifth Avenue, you've got quite a few options. You've got these big superstores that have a ton of mass-produced from China kind of souvenirs.
You have also got the smaller vendors set up along the Fifth Avenue strip,
as well as high-end shopping at the 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗶𝗀𝗃.
but our best recommendation would be to visit the independent vendors selling handmade craft just off the Fifth Avenue.
We're currently in a place called Willys. It's like one of these very common little restaurants you'll find all along the Fifth Avenue. They'll typically have signs outside advertising 2-for-1 beers, 2-for-1 cocktails. That's what Geovanny just did now. He got 2-for-1 beers, which he paid 80 pesos for 2 beers. I don't drink beer at all, so I asked for cocktails and they're so expensive, guys. Like, they say 2 liters for like 290 pesos, so I passed up on the cocktails. All that's available on the menu here is burgers and wings, which is not Mexican at all, but I mean it's easy food, so we just ordered some buffalo wings.
Buffalo chicken wing.
We paid close to 300 pesos for that meal, which for Mexican prices that is exorbitant. That's like daylight robbery, honestly.
But it's something that you have to expect to pay here because you are in the touristic area.
You don't need to pay those prices at all, and if you stick around, we're going to show you how to avoid paying ridiculous rip-off prices like that. Almost 11 months to the day, Geovanny and I decided to start this YouTube channel. So we came out and we filmed our very first episode. Basically it was about the Fifth Avenue here in Playa del Carmen, which was obviously kind of just after the pandemic hit. There were literally, guys, we're not even joking, there were literally maybe like 5 tourists on the entire strip.
At the time we were recording that video, the Fifth Avenue was under remodeling. Luckily, at the end of December, this place was completely remodeled, open for tourism, and Playa del Carmen in general, Mexico started booming with the tourists.
There's so many foreign guests here right now, as well as local tourism. We've also noticed a lot of Mexicans visiting from the north, so from Mexico City, Guadalajara, all of those areas, they're all coming down to Playa for their summer vacation. So tourism is booming here right now, which is really good for the tourism industry.
Yes.
Guys, it is cooking hot today, so Geovanny and I headed just 1 block down and we will see you at the beach.
We are now here in one of the beaches of the Fifth Avenue. We actually are in the 38th Street. It's very beautiful here. However, don't expect to have the Caribbean blues because the shores are suffering a little bit more with the sargassum at this time.
Yeah, basically sargassum is like a smelly brown seaweed that sits on the shore, and it's like infects the first part of the ocean, so it makes it brown, and it's not very nice to look at or smell, but the ocean is completely swimmable. You can definitely swim while there's sargassum here. It's just not as beautiful as what you would expect to see in the Caribbean. Basically the beach behind us that we were just on, the sargassum, is a lot more managed, just because it's more of like a popular tourist beach, whereas this beach we're going onto right now, we're actually going to show you the, what do you call that thing? The tractor that's trying to remove the sargassum. The beaches are receiving literally tons of sargassum on a daily basis, so although they do try and manage the condition of the beaches, it's an impossible battle to win.
No, it's like you're not like actually taking the problem from the root. It's just like trying
just
to
like a band-aid.
Yeah,
it's just like a band-aid over the real issue.
Then when the washes ashore, like start to decompose, start to be rotten, and that's what smells like a rotten egg.
Yeah.
That's the smell that I can describe it for it.
It does smell like rotten.
Yeah. Mother Nature, nothing we can do about it.
So as promised in the beginning of this video, we said that we'd be highlighting a few of the scams that you can expect to come across if you are a tourist down here in the Fifth Avenue. In all honesty, we don't usually experience the scams because Geovanny is very clearly local. Because I'm with him, we're not targeted. However, if I was by myself, I'd be considered a gringo, and I'd be way more likely to... A gringa, sorry, because I'm a girl. I'd be way more likely to be a victim of these scams. So let's get into it. One of the most prevalent scams, and it actually doesn't only happen here in the 5th Avenue, but taxis. You've got to watch out for taxis. Rule number 1 is before you get in their car, you've got to ask how much it's going to be to get to the destination that you go to, because you will often find yourself getting into the taxi. It's all great, they're very friendly, you get to your destination and they quote you some ridiculous price, and then you're bound to paying that price. Taxis love to overcharge. They also love to use the excuse that there's a local rate and there's a tourist rate, which there is not. If you look, there is a board down by the main taxi avenue, and it will tell you exactly how much it should be to get to your destination. So those are the legit set prices. There are no tourist/local prices. The price is the price. Another thing is you are not obliged to tip taxi drivers. They may make you feel like you need to tip them. You absolutely do not. It is not a requirement here in Mexico, so don't feel like you have to.
If you go to restaurants, please check your final bill. The final bill here, they accidentally sometimes try to add some other items that are part of the menu. The prices can be different for what you have in the menu and in your final bill. Just please make sure everything is equal and make sure whatever you have is what is in your bill.
Another scam to be aware of here in the 5th Avenue, it's actually not only the 5th Avenue, but kind of anywhere near the 5th Avenue, is you'll see all of these 2-for-1 drinks, 2-for-1 drink specials. But when it comes to actually ordering your drinks, yeah, the price is not so high, but there's actually no alcohol. Not no alcohol, but there's very little alcohol in the drinks. I am such a lightweight, I never drink. I get really sick if I drink. So the other night we actually went out and I had 3 cocktails and I didn't feel a thing, which just tells me that there must have been close to 0 alcohol in those 2-for-1 drinks. So just be aware of that. When you're buying 2-for-1, it's not actually really worth it. Another thing can be the exchange rate and the currency. So say for example, the current exchange rate is 20 pesos to $1, right? Basically, all of these restaurants and retailers and everything on the 5th Avenue, technically, while they don't have the right to, they do it anyways, is they kind of make up their own exchange rate. So, like I said, say for example, the pesos 20 pesos to $1, they can sometimes charge you something as ridiculous as 14 pesos to the dollar. So you end up losing out big time. So our top tip to avoid this very common scam on the 5th Avenue is to first exchange your US dollars for pesos and only pay in pesos on the 5th Avenue. Behind me you might notice this famous sculpture in Playa del Carmen. It's the 2 mermaids. So this is actually in Parque del Fundadores, sí. And this is basically where you'll find all the entertainment.
What are those, babe?
Those are 𝗵𝗆𝗆𝗃 flyers, and they're actually not from the state of Quintana Roo. They're from a state called, I'm forgetting, it's Veracruz. They're from Veracruz.
Danza de los Voladores is an ancient Mesoamerican ritual that was created to ask to the gods to end a severe drought. In 2009, UNESCO appointed this ancient ritual as an official part of the intangible cultural heritage of Mexico.
La tierra nos ama y nos espera con los brazos abiertos cuando demos nuestro último aliento aquí sobre la tierra.
If this video gets 1,000 likes, Simone next time is gonna be dancing with this guy.
So the 𝗵𝗆𝗆𝗃 flyers that we just saw and the traditional Mayan performers that we just saw, they actually perform here all afternoon, all the way into the evening. And I know that mariachi comes later in the day as well. So Parque de Fundadores is where you want to be if you're looking for entertainment. So remember how we had just 2 beers and chicken wings a little bit earlier exactly on the 5th and how expensive it was? Geovanny knows a special place just off of the 5th. We're going to guide you there and we're going to go get some lunch and we're going to show you what that's like. It's going to be more of like a Mexican local kind of meal and we will see you that side.
British descent skill has to be taken care of because of the Caribbean sun.
We literally were in the sun for like an hour and I'm already like a roasted turkey. It's so unfair. And Geovanny's like a golden god. We're actually on the 10th Avenue, which is just muchas gracias, which is just one avenue away from the 5th Avenue. This is a restaurant called 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 eat our food, we're going to show you what we get, and we're going to let you know how much this entire meal costs. Guaranteed it's going to be maybe a quarter of what we paid for the chicken wings on the 5th Avenue.
We are having the Yucatecans' most favorite thing, which are the empanadas.
Compared to your chicken wings, 100%. Yeah.
No comparison at all.
No comparison, I agree.
Without a doubt, coming here just away from the 5th Avenue, it actually is the Mercado Municipal, which is the municipal market, and La Playita Caribeña. I mean, I think it's a good option for you if you want to save some bucks and really try
authentic Mexican food since you're in Mexico.
No chicken wings.
No
Please.
Chicken wings.
Por favor.
Por favor. So people often ask about the safety here in 5th Avenue, and in all honesty, Geovanny and I don't love it here. We feel like there's like a lot of like really sketchy people. That obviously has a lot to do with the drug issue here. A lot of people selling drugs here, and I mean, of course, with that brings issues of its own, but we just don't feel like this is the right place to be flashing around fancy gear, jewelry, anything like that. It just doesn't feel really nice.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I mean, everyone's got their own opinion, but that is our personal opinion. Obviously, if you are in Playa del Carmen, the 5th Avenue is an absolute must-see, but if Geovanny and I had one big tip to share with you guys is leave the 5th Avenue at some stage of your trip, because when you eat where the locals eat, when you go where the locals go, that's when you get like a real sense of what the area is all about.
Exactly. And also, if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, click the subscribe button. This helps us to grow our channel here in YouTube, and we can create better content for you guys. That being said, we will see you in the next episode. Hasta luego.
A pesar de que les robamos, a pesar que les traemos sus entrañas, la tierra nos ama y nos espera con los brazos abiertos cuando demos nuestro último aliento aquí sobre la tierra. ¡𝗍𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏